Volkswagen unveiled the ID.Buzz way back in 2017. Since then, the world has impatiently waited for the electrified and updated version of the famous microbus. It turns out the world really wants a van wrapped in nostalgia. Well, it's here, finally. I've waited, you've waited, we've all waited for the ID.Buzz, and now this is the production vehicle, something that I can actually drive, and I'm here in Europe taking it for a spin. But there are a few caveats. This is the European version, so it has the short wheelbase that we won't get in the United States. How much longer will the US version be? Well, Volkswagen won't tell us. So what's the big difference between the short wheelbase that I'm driving now and the long wheelbase that's coming into the United States? Well, it's this. In the European version, you have two rows. You have the front row, the second row, and then lots of cargo space with this cool, this thing, I mean, this is pretty rad. In the United States, because the wheelbase will be longer, they will throw a third row in here so that you can, well, drag more of your friends on all of your adventures. Currently underneath the European version of this van is the 82 kilowatt hour capacity battery, of which 77 kilowatt hours is available for use by the vehicle at all times. Volkswagen hasn't shared details about the battery size of the US version of the vehicle. That also means we don't have any range estimates yet, but they're likely targeting somewhere in the 250-mile range. What will stay the same on both sides of the Atlantic is the DC fast charging rate of 170 kilowatts. But I do wish it charged quicker, especially for a vehicle that's essentially just built for road trips, for family, for friends. You know, you want something that's going to charge as quickly as possible whenever you pull over. That said, Volkswagen says it'll go from 5 to 80% in about 30 minutes, so it's no slouch. So if you are on that long road trip, you pull over for some food, it should be ready to go when you're ready to go. For both those cross-country and around-town trips, the ID.Buzz drives, well, unsurprisingly like a van, except quieter and smoother. The 201 horsepower and 228 pound-feet of torque might not give you the insane boost of other EVs, but on the road, the electric torque gives you the needed power to merge into quick-moving traffic and pass slower vehicles. And yes, it does have a sport mode, but it's best in comfort mode. Inside, you essentially get the same setup as we found in the ID.4. You have the dash cluster attached directly to the steering column, and you have the touch screen, and it is available in 10 or 12 inches. Well, when the ID.4 came to the United States, the software that was on here wasn't really optimized for the hardware, so it was extremely laggy. In fact, it was annoyingly laggy for most people. Now, with the latest software, it's quick. It works like a proper touchscreen. What's also nice about the latest update is that we're getting native Spotify and Apple Music support. So if you have a Spotify account or Apple Music account, you just get in the vehicle. You don't have to have your phone with you, and you have instant access to your playlist and the songs you like to listen to on both services. Plus, the vehicle supports plug-in charge. So if you go to a plug-in charge supported charging station, you just plug your car in. You don't have to worry about using a credit card. You don't have to launch an app. You just plug the car in and it begins to charge, and you can go on with your life, shopping or eating food or whatever you do while you're charging. The steering and suspension handled Denmark's roads without issue and delivered a mostly calm ride outside of a rough bit of asphalt in a construction zone. I drove the rear-wheel drive version, but an all-wheel drive version will be available in the United States. What's nice is with the short wheelbase, you have this really nice tight turning circle, which of course will increase once we get the long wheelbase in the US. Overall, the Buzz isn't about spirited backroad jaunts. Instead, it's ready to keep everyone comfortable as you roll down the highway. What's interesting is what Volkswagen is doing with its driver's assistance technology. It's using V2V tech, which is vehicle-to-vehicle tech, in order to have the vehicles talk to each other, to tell each other about the road. What Volkswagen is doing is using its lane centering. Well, if the sensors, the camera and the radar, can't find the middle of the lane because the markings are faded or even missing, what it'll do is you'll use the information from other vehicles that have driven over that road, and it'll share that information with the vehicle so that it can find the center of the lane even if it can't see the edges. Here in the back seat, well, it's a van, so there's plenty of headroom, there's plenty of leg room. Well, that's what happens when you have a van. You have plenty of room for people in the front and back seats. There's plenty of room for 3 people back here. I'm sitting in the middle seat right now. What's really nice is that the front seats, on the back they have these little pockets, so you can stick your phone in there or maybe a small tablet. And they have these little trays that pop up like you're, well, on a plane, and you can put your drink right here. Also, there's a little notch so you can put your phone there. There is one downside though, and this might be a trim level issue. It might be a spec issue. Again, I'm in the European spec, not the American spec. There are no climate controls back here, and there are no vents back here. It is cool. We do have the climate control running in the front, but the US market does love the ability to control climate for every single person in the vehicle. Design-wise, I think Volkswagen has done a really great job combining the original microbus with the concept vehicle, shoving them together and making a production vehicle, something they can actually build. But what really sells the design is the two-tone paint jobs. We have a white and green here, we have white and orange, and of course we've all seen the white and yellow. Regardless of whatever paint color you get, these are just really great looking vans. The ID.Buzz will be available in Europe this year and in the United States in 2023. Unfortunately, we have no idea what the cost will be. Volkswagen will share that information closer to its launch. Either way, regardless of how much it costs, it's probably going to be very difficult to get this in the first year of production just because, well, nostalgia. For more automotive coverage next to a very busy marina in Europe, be sure to subscribe to Engadget.